Hello and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm that English guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video, I really do appreciate it. And in this one, we're going to be covering the 5th of April 2021 edition of AEW Dark Elevation. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. The opening match was between Hangman, Adam Page and Bill Collier. Now, Bill Collier hasn't had many appearances in AEW, but for what he's done so far, he's been impressive. Saying a guy like him is going to get a good opportunity in AEW in the future, and when you're facing someone like Adam Page, it's only going to increase the stock even more, because I've said it before and I will say it again, Adam Page is one of my favourite wrestlers. I think he's amazing in everything he does, and he's so good. And not to say that Bill Collier did not do some very, very good stuff in this match. It wasn't the longest match on the card, to be fair, but it was a good match, and I enjoyed the exchanges between both men, and very unique and good way to win the match for Hangman Page, because as you know, his finishing move is usually the buckshot lariat. Bill Collier is not a small guy; he's quite big. So basically, two hard lariats. Third was the buckshot lariat, knocked him down, got the pin. But I like the ending to the match, and a very good way to get a big man off his feet, and a good opener, and short but enjoyable opener from both men. So thumbs up for that. And next match was a tag team match: the Varsity Blondes versus Dean Alexander and Carly Bravo. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Varsity Blondes, I just can't help but absolutely love them. Of course, they've improved leaps and bounds in the last couple of months, and they're starting to get more and more matches, and I'm very, very pleased to see that, because I think they're underrated. I think they've got a real good chance to push that boundary of what they can do even more. And recently, they've been really showing more cohesion as a tag team, and you always like to see that. And this was, again, not the longest match, but a good match. The chemistry between Varsity Blondes was on fire here. Old school tag team wrestling, keeping their opponent in the corner. Little touches and nuances and blind tags and everything, and tag teams, regular tags. It's a tag team that is starting to grow and grow, and they're starting to show it, and I really, really like that. And a good showing from their opponents too in this one, man. Varsity Blondes winning the match was the right call, because they've had a very, very good 2021 so far. Certainly hope it continues. So, definite thumbs up for that, for all four men for this one. The next match was the shortest match, I think, on the card. Britt Baker versus Alex Gracia. And Britt Baker did a promo before the match saying she would give Alex Gracia an enhancement talent, and she called her a chance. So, of course, Britt Baker got on her hands and her knees in the amateur wrestling starting position. If you've ever seen that, you'll know what I mean. Of course, Britt Baker suckered her in and pretty much hit the lockjaw on her immediately, and that was it. So it was more about the enhancement of what Britt Baker's been doing recently, and she's been fantastic lately. It's always good to see that, and a quick but effective win for Britt Baker. So there you go. Our next match was Limelight versus Dark Order's 10. And I saw this one advertised, and I was looking forward to it, and it was a very good match, to be fair. 10 is the biggest and strongest member of the Dark Order, I'd say. Maybe apart from John Silver, who's not the tallest guy. He's one of the shortest people, but he's also one of the strongest. He's ridiculously strong. And when you've got the power of someone like 10, you get someone who's very, very athletic, shall we say, as Daniel Limelight, you're going to get a good clash of styles, also a good match. This was exactly that. This was a very good match. And I think 10 winning was the right call, because Daniel Limelight has been getting some momentum here and there, but I think 10 winning was the right call because of how Dark Order is being used at the minute and in AEW. And I enjoyed this one for what it was. It was a very, very good back and forth match, but 10 winning, again with the full Nelson, but then again, he's strong as he could possibly get. He's like an ox. 10 the ox, I'll call him. But I enjoyed this one for what it was, and it was a good match. So 10 winning was the right call, and very good exchanges between both men in this match. I enjoyed that, so thumbs up for that, absolutely. And next match, Big Swole versus Jasmine Law. And I've said it many times, I'm so happy to see Big Swole back in the ring. She's legitimately one of my favourites in AEW to watch in the women's division and in women's wrestling full stop, because of her charisma, because of her in-ring style and the way she does things. It just speaks volumes to me. And after her unfortunate battling with Crohn's disease, it's good to see her back in the ring, and I'm so pleased to see it. Against Jasmine Law, in her short time in AEW, she's done some pretty cool stuff. And even though it was a quickish match, shall we say, it was definitely nothing lost for Jasmine Law against, I'm going to say, arguably perhaps I won't say the most charismatic woman in the female division, but obviously one of the most popular. And the crowd loved it. I loved it. And it's great to see Big Swole back in the swing of things, shall we say. So, thumbs up to that. And this match was BrianMorales versus Michael Nakazawa. And like last week, Michael Nakazawa was doing I would say, executive, I think executive character is the best way to put it, with the headset on during the match. Of course, Very watched the lockup, gets into it. Michael stops something coming through in the headset. And unlike last week, it didn't last as long, I think, which was the right thing. BrianMorales pulled it off. And BrianMorales is a guy who I really like. I think he's a great high flyer. He's got the Lucha Libre style, and it works very, very well for him. And Michael Nakazawa playing the more executive heel, as weird as it is to say, seems to work, because his character work has always been so good. If you've ever known him with the Turkish baby oil and just how ridiculous that is, you'll know. This is a different side to Michael Nakazawa. I won't say heel. I'll say heel because Michael is Kenny Omega's assistant, shall we say, in AEW. And of course, Kenny's a heel right now. But it was great to see this side of Michael Nakazawa come through a bit more. And I reckon we'll see more of it. And I'm not against it. And it was a longer match than Michael's match last week. And all the better for it because of the way that they played it up. The way that Michael was playing the executive heel. Being very, very reliable to watch. And it was a fun match, what it was. And I enjoyed it. So thumbs up to both men, but do something a little bit unusual, but a little bit different. Sometimes you need that in wrestling. That's exactly what this was. So, kind of holds it. Next match was a very short match. Lance Archer versus Baron Black. Now, I've said it before, Lance Archer has had a brilliant 2021. And he's really starting to show what he can do. And even though this was not the longest match, it was kind of a squash match because in the past, before the match even starts, Lance Archer will bring his opponent to the ring as beaten him before the match even starts. That's exactly what happened here. And poor Baron Black, who I really like, ended up falling to the blackout. And that was it. It was a very, very short match. And Lance Archer continued to dominate and do a very, very good job. So, squash match. But there you go. And next match was Tesha Price via Ryo Mizunami, who has quickly become one of the most popular female wrestlers in AEW. It's not her first venture into the company because, of course, she was there in 2019. And, of course, had to take some time away because of the pandemic. But against a very game Tesha Price. And Tesha Price showed some decent stuff in this match. And Ryo Mizunami is a 15-year-plus vet. And you're not going to get a bad match from her. Her charisma, her in-ring style, her wrestling just works. And it's always very, very cool to see her in AEW. And I personally wouldn't mind seeing her in AEW a lot more. She's had some great matches throughout her tenure in 2021 in Joshi Pro and also in AEW. But I can understand why AEW is starting to use her a lot more because she's a great addition and an asset to the women's division in AEW because she's great. I really like Ryo Mizunami. And it's good to see that this is absolutely true for what she said. AEW gave her a passion back in wrestling, and so she was about to retire. But AEW said they gave her the spark and the ability to go on, and the encouragement. Kind of, I absolutely love that. So to see that kind of thing continuing at her in AEW is something I'm all for. So thumbs up. And next match was a very good match, to be fair. Max Caster, who was his Colt Cabana. Now, Max has been getting a bit more of a singles push in AEW lately because of the unfortunate injury to Anthony Bowens. But he didn't come into ringside. And before the match even started, if you've ever seen a Dark Corner match, the wrestler who's wrestling in the match, or wrestlers, shall we say, all come out, followed behind them by the other members of the Dark Order. And when said wrestler or wrestlers step into the ring, they give the Dark Order sign or signal, shall we say, and then all the other wrestlers go to the back. Colt Cabana, very, very smartly, went to the entrance ramp, found Evil Uno, pulled him back out and said, "Can you stay right here?" Because he knew Anthony Bowens was in Max Caster's corner. And I've got to give credit where it's due. Very, very smart thinking. And it added to the dynamic of what was actually a very good match. And I really liked the work rate between these two men. Max has really grown on me, to be fair. I liked him when he first came to AEW, don't get me wrong. But as of late, he's really starting to grow on me. So is Anthony Bowens. I really like the Acclaim because of how they do things a bit differently. Maybe their gimmicks aren't the most original, but they're entertaining and the way they perform it. And sometimes if you make the gimmick work, it just speaks to you, and this really does. And when you're facing Colt Cabana, you're not going to get a bad match because Colt Cabana, 20-year plus vet, knows every wrestling move in the book by now because he's wrestled so many matches in so many different styles, mostly the English style because I know how much he loves that. But I think Max Caster winning this match was the right call. And not to take anything away from Colt Cabana, but Max has been getting that push and a deserved push because he's starting to get some really good offense in, some really unique, different situations going here and there, and it's been worth watching, and I've enjoyed it. And as I said, a very good match between two very good wrestlers. So Max winning was the right call. So this was probably one of the matches of the night. So definitely can't fault that. So definitely a thumbs up for that. Oh, find some win. There we go. Our next match was an 8-man tag match. Butcher and the Blade and Private Party versus Anna Priest, Rising, D3, and Fuego del Sol. And this was an incredibly short match. All 8 men, or say all 4 men, should we say, of Matt Hardy's organization jumped them before the bell could even ring. It's kind of their MO, shall we say, as of late. And it led to the other team being completely thrown off guard. And that was it, really. It was not much left in that. And then basically, it was full death by Butcher and the Blade to win the match in a very short match. And Fuego del Sol once again on the losing end. I want to see him win a match. I really love Fuego. But yeah, this is a fun but short 8-man tag match to further increase the stock of Matt Hardy's organisation. So there you go. And then the next match was Matt Hardy in singles action this time versus Alan 5 Angels. And this was one of the matches of the night for me. I really liked the work rate between these 2 men. And Matt Hardy, for so many years, has been one of the most reliable in-ring performers you can get against another in-ring performer that's starting to prove a lot more, Alan 5 Angels. And the continued feud between Dark Order and Matt Hardy's organisation has been really good to watch and very entertaining because of the unique style and blend of characters, shall we say. The fun-loving Dark Order against Matt Hardy organisation, which is a bit, I would say, fun-loving when it comes to Private Party, but Butcher and the Blade and the Money, complete opposite, and it just works. I just love the dynamic between those 2 teams. But this being said, this singles match was very good, and I think Matt Hardy winning was the right call because of the exchanges that both sides have had. Matt Hardy's organisation has had a bit of bad luck lately with the Matt Hardy losing the first quarter of 2021 earnings to Hangman Page. Now back on winning ways, gets his money back because we're now into April, and getting his money back. And that gimmick is starting to show through in a bit more character work from Matt Hardy, Big Money Matt Hardy, which you've seen before, but it's always good to see because he makes it work so well. And the 5 Angels did some very, very good stuff in this match. And Matt Hardy not winning with the twist of fate, and the 5 Angels had it counted. But Matt Hardy improvised and used a very unique submission to win the match and an added dynamic to what wrestling can be. When you study a man's finishing move and you can study it, counter it, but it pulls out something new, it has a different dynamic. So you can't fault that at all. So thumbs up from both men in this one. Brought us to the main event. The Seidel brothers of Mike and Matt versus the newly formed tag team of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Now, I saw this one advertised and I thought this is going to be good, very, very good. And this was very, very good. Probably my match of the night, to be honest. When you've got 2 teams like this, you're going to get a great match. 2 very seasoned pros in Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page just work as a tag team. And you can see the dynamic between these 2. Both men experienced tag team wrestlers. Scorpio Sky for so many years. When he first started in wrestling, teamed with Quicksilver, made his name famous in PWG. Ethan Page, long-time tag team partner of Josh Alexander of the North. Fantastic tag team. When you put these 2 together, you're just going to get great, great chemistry, and you do. And also, that being said, Mike and Matt Seidel, 2 very, very good wrestlers. And this was a very good main event. And after the last week's match, Scorpio Sky trying to injure Mike Seidel by keeping that heel hook in. Ethan Page, say Matt Sydal coming out and then Ethan Page coming out. You could tell there's going to be something continuing onto a match like this. That's exactly what we got, and a very good dynamic from both teams in terms of heel work, in terms of in-ring work, and in terms of keeping that heel pressured on, shall we say, of Mike Sydal. And it just shows that sometimes psychology from last week that carries on to the next week with an injury just works. It works very, very well here, and I think they played it off very, very well. And not to say that the in-ring action was very, very, very good. So I enjoyed what these two teams brought in terms of great tag team chemistry, great in-ring action, and just a fantastic ending to what was a very, very good show. And I think Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page winning was the right call because of what they've been doing in AEW, feeling undervalued. Proved it in this match disproved that by winning this match. So can't fault that. So thumbs up. So it's all 4 men. It's put on a very, very good main event. And another good episode from Elevation. They're just on fire, really. AEW's been on fire all year, and this is a continuation of very, very good stuff. So, with that being said, that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll see everybody next time. Until that time, take care.